Imagine for a second that your husband emails your boss and asks your boss to move a male coworker out of the department because your husband doesn't want you working with him. There are husbands like that, and Larry Millete was apparently one of them. He is on trial for the murder of his wife, Maya, who disappeared back in January of 2021, and her body has never been found, which is why this one is a really complex case. We're on day 13, and the prosecution continues to build this case that Larry had motive, he had opportunity, and that he spent well over a year behaving in a way that would contribute to this murder. Up on the stand yesterday is a man named Derek Sopp. Now, he was Maya's supervisor at work. And Derek's got a lot to say. And it all starts back in February of 2020. So he says in February 2020, Maya was at work. She received communication from a woman who she did not know. Nobody knew at the time who it was. It ended up being Jamie Laird's mother-in-law. Jamie Laird is the affair partner. But Maya receives this communication, and it's accusing her of having an affair with Jamie. And Maya is shaken, she's shocked, she can't believe this is happening. She's very nervous because she and Jamie are coworkers, and this is definitely against the rules. They both work for the Navy, so this could be career ending. So Sopp says that Maya is shaking, she's upset, she comes to him and she tells him about the communication, and then she says, like, this is getting out there. It's going to our higher ups, it's gone to my husband. So Maya's in a panic that everyone thinks she's having this affair, and she denies it. The Sopp says that the situation is snowballing, and frankly, he's a little bit confused, and I'll explain why in a minute. But he called Maya, Jamie, and Larry into his office to see if they could solve this all like mature adults did. He thought that there was a misunderstanding about a work trip in New York. So he explains, like, Maya and Jamie were supposed to be in New York for a business trip together. But Sopp claims, and he says this on the stand, that he asked Maya instead to go to a different conference in a different city, and that he tasked somebody else to go to New York with Jamie. But Larry doesn't believe that, and it turns out that the defense has a hotel statement from New York with Maya's name on it. So it looks like, I don't know if Maya defied her boss or what she did, but she ended up going to New York and was in New York. Apparently, according to the evidence, according to the defense, she was in New York with Jamie Laird. Now, Sopp didn't go to HR, did not take a partner. He thought the parties could resolve this themselves, which was a wild miscalculation, in my opinion. But also in February, Larry also asked Sopp to move another coworker, a guy named Eric Kogan, out of Maya's department because she worked closely with him, and he feared it was getting personal. Now, at the time, in February of 2020, Jamie Laird had denied that he was having an affair with Maya. He did tell Sopp that he was having an affair with somebody else, but that it wasn't Maya. But then in January 21, after Maya goes missing, Jamie Laird comes back to Sopp and says, okay, I lied. It was Maya that I was having an affair with. Now, Sopp also tells the jury that Maya had confided in him about the marriage and that she planned to separate from Larry, saying he was controlling and he was asking for all of her social media passwords so that he could monitor her activity. Sopp was one of the last people to speak with Maya. He says the day before she vanished, this would have been January 6th of 2021, Maya called him and was really upset. She was giving him a heads up that she and Larry were divorcing because she assumed that Sopp would hear from Larry. And she told Sopp that Larry was trying to bring up the affair at work. He was going to continue to try and tell people about it because he was trying to ruin her career. Now, yesterday, the jurors also saw emails that Maya sent to a coworker and friend. So this woman received emails from Maya, and they said things like, I've decided to file for divorce. So Maya is telling coworkers and friends that she is now filing for divorce. And this email was received by the coworker 8 days before Maya's disappearance. And then we bring the investigator from the DA's office back up to the stand to discuss Larry's cell phone. So they did, I love a good cell phone dump, you guys, I love it. The forensic stuff is the best part of any trial. Anyway, he shows on Larry's phone, they found screenshots of Jamie Laird's social media. They showed the emails he was sending to spellcasters. In one case, he was seeking, quote, death spells. And he spent more than $1,000 to destroy the enemy, that's in quotes, asking to banish Jamie Laird from their lives and make him lose his job. The investigator also provided binders. That's literally the word in the news, binders, full of emails that started in September of 2020 and stopped 2 days after Maya's disappearance. There were other spell requests. So Larry's just going crazy with the spellcasters. He's requesting, quote, total dominance, quote, sex slave, quote, incapacitate her or make her sick so she has to rely on me. Remember, Maya disappeared on January 7th, but according to this investigator, as of January 9th, when the rest of the family, that's the 9th, that's the day of the daughter's birthday, they were all supposed to go to Big Bear. The whole family is gathered because they were supposed to go do this birthday trip. They are out searching for Maya. And Larry is at home on the computer searching porn sites. Yeah. So this trial continues. Out of 152 witnesses on the list, we've only heard from 33. So Jamie Laird is expected to take the stand. His alibi is that his wife, because Jamie Laird's also married, or was married, they're now divorced. Jamie Laird was at the hospital on the day of January 7th because that was the day his wife gave birth. So in my opinion, I feel like that's an alibi. The defense is arguing police never really verified his presence there. So we're going to hear from Jamie Laird and we're going to hear from his now ex-wife in one of these 152 witnesses. Again, this was day 13. So we've still got a long way to go. This is anticipated being a 3-month trial. I'll keep you posted.